There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunge beneath that flow lose all their guilty stain. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Doctor is In on the ICN Impact Network. I am your host, Dr. Rick Sampson, president and founder of Sanctification Deliverance Ministries, where we talk about health, healing, and wellness from a biblical and medical perspective. If you would like to know more about this ministry, go to our website at thehealthminister.org or email us at sanctificationministries59@gmail.com. The word of the Lord tonight is found in the book of Psalms 139, verse 14. Let's read that passage of scripture. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. I'm sure that you will agree with me that our world is in serious trouble today. Millions are suffering from starvation and poor nutrition in every form. Population explosion is of great cause of concern. Our water is polluted. In the large cities, our air is badly polluted. And the COVID variant pandemic disease is not over. And even though modern science claims it's finding many ways to treat diseases, it seems there are more and more diseases to treat. What we need to help us with some of these problems is a good nutrition program that will help us fight diseases and ensure good health. We need good food security. As I talk to you tonight, you're going to discover that it is possible to have better health. You can find security in good nutrition. First of all, let's talk about the human body that needs this good nutrition. We usually think of the human body as the physical part of us. We eat and our food is digested. We work and use our muscles, and those muscles become tired. We bathe, dress, brush our teeth, comb our hair, and make ourselves look as attractive as possible. We do not like our bodies to become sick because then we feel unhealthy. But I want you to understand tonight that your body is just one part of you. There is another part of you. It is your mind. We have the ability to reason. When your body tells you it is tired, you know that you must sleep. When it tells you you're hungry, you know that it's time to eat. When you have a problem, you can think it through because you have a brain and you can plan. You can plan your activities for each day and look ahead and plan for the future. Because you are able to reason and plan, and because you have a body, you are able to act. As we study this series tonight, you will learn important instructions given to us in God's Word. You will learn how to make your plans and dreams such that they can come true. God has plans for you, and dreams and ideas higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's idea for His children. But the body and the mind do not make up the total of your experiences in life. You are in contact with people. This involves your social life. Life would not be complete without your family, your relatives, your friends, and your neighbors. You were not meant to live like a lonely island out in the sea. You were meant to share the experience of life with others. So is the physical, mental, and social area. Is that all there is to your life? Of course not. You say, well, I have my personal faith. I have a spiritual and religious phase of my life. And I agree with you. Sometimes we overlook this very important part of life. Jesus said the body is more than meat. The body is more than raiment. It is these various parts of your nature that help you to reach your goals in life. And whatever your goal is in life, you need to understand how to have good relationships with other people and you need to have a meaningful faith and relationship with God. In this lesson tonight, I want you to realize that health is much more than the absence of disease. Health is having a fine sense of well-being without having to resort to the use of drugs or other harmful substances which often destroy the mind as well as the body. Good health is not dependent on a shelf full of medicines or some other sort of magic injections. Most discomfort and ill health is related to the violation of the laws governing the basic needs we have mentioned. And good health may be had by our desire to obey these laws. This was shown in the life of the prophet Daniel and his 3 friends in the book of Daniel chapter 1. Because of the obedience to the physical, mental, social, and spiritual laws of the body, they were found to be in 10 times better physical, mental, social, and spiritual condition and more advanced than the other students. For a few moments, let me mention briefly the life-building forces we all enjoy every day. Perhaps you have not thought very much about your dependence upon such important things as the light in the sky called the sun. Yet, all life in the world, including yours, is dependent upon the sun. You cannot have good health without sunshine. Life-giving oxygen and the fresh air you breathe is an absolute essential to your health. Without air, you would be dead in a few minutes. And of course, we do not just sit in the air and sunshine. For good health, we move, we work, we exercise, and we strengthen our bodies. Or if we don't do these things, the body weakens, the muscles become weak, and disease is more easily to invade the body. But with sunlight, fresh air, and exercise, we must also include rest and periods of relaxation to give the body a chance to rebuild energy and make necessary repairs. Another frequent thing that we overlook, this factor in good health, is water. Your body requires at least 6 to 8 glasses of water each day in order to function at its best. You notice I said water. I didn't say coffee, I didn't say tea, I didn't say soft drinks, I didn't say beer or liquor. I said water. Water is the best for cleansing and purifying the body both inside and out. Could you imagine life without food? The condition of your health is very closely related to the food that you eat. For the strength of your mind and body, we must have nourishment. Well-prepared food, eaten in proper quantities and at proper times. So for physical health, you must include in your daily program sunlight, fresh air, food, clean water, exercise, rest, temperance, and trust in God. But remember, physical health is just one part of you. What I wish to emphasize is that health has many sides and many components, and that each is dependent upon others. All of it must be included if your life is to be in proper balance. When this world was first made, it was God's intention that all men should always be happy, healthy, and completely balanced. For a few minutes, let us see how man came to be living in this world. In Genesis chapter 1, Jehovah God commanded the atoms of which the world was made to come together in their proper place, and they obeyed him. At that time, there was no light. The world was in darkness. God called the light to shine upon the world he had made. Since that time, darkness and light have always made a complete day. When the world was first made, the water was all mixed up with the earth like mud. And there was no clean water, and there was no dry land. On the second day, the Bible tells us that God made the air around the world, and some of the water of the earth he caused to rise above the air. So today we still see clouds holding rain high in the sky. On the third day, God caused the waters of the earth to separate from the earth, and he gathered the waters together, and the dry land appeared. Then God caused trees and plants with all kinds of flowers and fruits to spring up from the earth and to cover the dry land with beauty. These would also furnish food and shelter for the animals, birds, and man. On the fourth day, God made two great lights which he set in the heavens. We call the greater light the sun. God made it to rule the light part of the day. The sun, ladies and gentlemen, is about 93 million miles distant from the earth. It is much larger than the earth. The earth continually rotates around the sun. God made the sun to send heat and light to the world. The lesser light he called the moon. It is smaller than the earth and has no light of its own. It reflects the light of the sun. It is not very far away from the earth, only about 238,000 miles. The moon revolves around the earth once in every 28 days. God said these two lights were to be for signs and seasons. The same God who made this world and the sun and the moon also made the stars, which we can see up in the heavens on a clear night. Man cannot possibly count all the stars because God is great in power. None of the stars fall to the ground. He upholds them all. They all show how great and powerful our God is. Now, after God created, or rather after God gathered the waters into the seas and made the dry land appear, after he had made the plants and made the sun and the moon to shine, he wanted other things. And on the fifth day, he made all kinds of birds to fly in the air and to live on the ground and in the water. Some were very large and others were very small. And he also made the fish on the same day. Now, some fish were very large and others were very small. And there are fish that live in rivers and others that lived in oceans. They were all made on the same day. On the sixth day, the Bible tells us that God made different kinds of animals. Tigers, elephants, cows, horses, dogs, cats, and all the many different kinds of animals were made on the sixth day. And then God also made man. Man is a very special part of God's creation. He was different from all the other animals. He stood upright. He had also had a different kind of brain. He could know right from wrong. God made man, ladies and gentlemen, to be the ruler over all the world and everything in it. It was man's responsibility to care for all the animals and birds and fish and plants that lived on the earth. But man was all by himself, and God saw that it was not good for man to be alone, so he made a woman to be man's wife. These two were the first parents of the human race. Now, you may wonder why man is not now the ruler of all things in the earth. Why do animals fear man? Why do people get sick and die? Well, in our next lesson, we shall discuss these questions because they are a vital part of every person's happiness and fullness of life. This is Dr. Rick Sampson signing off until we meet again next Sunday at 8 p.m. on The Doctor Is In, right here on ICN Impact Network. May you prosper and be in good health.